Okay, thank you for calling in. I can't believe it is week 7, and we are just rocking and rolling with our fast track to executive. I know that we as a company and as a one team are absolutely excited about what's going to be a record week in Isogenics. I mean, if you all did not see the live with that seasonal catalog, you've got to watch it. I mean, Trudy and Jillian and Jackie just crushed it. I literally was in a thread with some other friends earlier, and I was like, this is like an ISA infomercial. Like, I felt like I was watching QVC. Later, all of a sudden, 900 BV later, I'm going to have all these products in my house. But I can't wait, to do all the holiday parties and gift that stuff away. And I'm so glad that they showed the video of how to make the little stocking of the sample cup, because I'm not crafty. I was like, that's like a Pinterest fail. I literally was like, mine's not going to look like that. And then they played a video, and I was like, I can do that. So duplicative. So you guys watch that if you have not watched that. But tonight, I'm actually super excited to be learning from Deanna. I think a lot of times with the social media training, we talk about being positive or what are the best times to post or things like that. And Deanna's really going to take this one step deeper, 10 steps deeper on how to build relationships, how not to just wait for people to come to you, but really, really how to build your business and expand on social media. So let's bring out to the line tonight, Isogenics Millionaire. I mean, this girl is one of the most giving, loving people ever. We shared all of her story and ins and outs on the why, but one of my favorite things about Deanna is that she is so positive, she's so encouraging, but she's always doing the work. Like, this girl will roll up her sleeves, go into the mud, take whoever with her in the trenches in order to change lives. So I'm going to mute and let you take it away, mamas.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'm super excited to be here tonight. And just like Lauren said, she said that most of the time with social media recruiting, we are coached the basics. And so I'm not going to go over the basics, but just to remind you of what it is. The basics would be you just pretty much posting something and sort of waiting for people to come. I actually have a little bit of a presentation here, so give me 1 second because I want to make sure that it's loaded and ready to go. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get it going. Okay, do you guys see that sign, that the screen? Does it say recruiting intentionally? Just give me a thumbs up if you see that. Do you see that? Okay, so I guess I would consider unintentional recruiting, or more of the passive recruiting, to be what we do when we typically just post. And if any of you are wanting to know like some of the more of the basic training, like we just ask that you sort of go back a few trainings ago and also just go on to isogenicsbusiness.com, which will give you some scripts on posting. But we all know that with Facebook, we want to post. We want to use our sphere of influence in order to get people to come to our page and request more knowledge and more information about what we do. And I think that's great, but for many people, they'll come out of the gate and that'll work. You'll post, you'll get people to respond, you'll get them on a message, you'll get them enrolled, and then after a while, it's sort of like, now what? I think it's because we're not using the platform fully, and because things have changed. And I'm not saying that making your brand and making yourself known is not going to build your business. It totally will, but there's more to it. There's so much more. So this presentation is going to be part me telling you about more additional ways to passively recruit with other areas that we've been doing rather than just posting traditionally. And then mainly I want to give you some tips on intentionally going out and actually prospecting, okay? And I know that Renee especially hates that term because we call them future, we don't say that we're their prospects, we say they're future customers. But it really is true that there's an aspect of that word that will work well for this particular illustration, so just bear with me here. So first thing I want to talk about is this would be a way of what I consider passive or straight ahead traditional building your brand and recruiting on Facebook, but with a little bit more of an expanse to just posting. All of you are familiar with Facebook Live, which is us getting onto our camera here, and being able to go on live video. But what some of you may not know is that Instagram has the same exact feature. So we recommend, if you haven't tested it out, to definitely consider, something that you want to talk about. Consider your area of interest, and probably one of the next slides is that I'm talking about your audience. Be aware of what your audience is and who you want to attract. But try to consistently go on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. If you're already on Facebook Live but haven't tried Instagram Live, do Instagram Live too. There will be more nuances to kind of separating the two. But if you go into your Instagram stories area, there's also a live button that you can push, and you can go on and do an Instagram Live, and you'll be amazed to see how many more people will respond, will have a conversation with you. Your goal, and again, this is still passive, what I call passive recruiting, because your goal is really to form relationships and bring people to you, right? So that they'll be interested and that they'll know more about you and your life, and then eventually ask about the product. That's why I'm saying it's more passive, because it's not you just coming out and saying, hey, you want my product? Take it, right? So definitely, this is another way rather than just posting straight ahead on your page. Here is a little shot of my family and my timeline. But if you look on that post up there, I don't know if you can see the arrow that I've got, but look, for many of us, we actually can do Facebook Live directly from our desktop now. Some of you may not have that rolled out yet, but that little live video thing right there, that's from my desktop. Up until maybe July, I think, we could only do it on our phone, and they've rolled it out to some people. First, it was like their main influencers. Then it was to people with, I guess, more people and followers. But I can actually do a live video directly from my desktop. The advantages of that is that then you can forward your live video that you're doing over to other pages to get more interaction, and you can continue with more conversations and that type of thing. So it's really advantageous if you can and if you have it. If you don't have it, don't worry, it's coming out. Facebook Live on your desktop is coming out. But the advantage is going to be, we don't have to be sitting here holding it or finding, the tripod or whatever. So that's one great piece of news, I think, for many people. And then the other thing, here's Instagram. And I just am going to talk about Instagram Live. Here's me. I just had washed my hair. If you see my Instagram profile right now, one thing that people aren't really doing well is managing their Instagram. And I would say for that, try to think of a theme, try to think of a look. Don't put every picture that you ever take on Instagram, because we have what they call Instagram stories now, which I'll mention a little bit more right now. And if you're out somewhere and you have a bunch of pictures, put them on your Instagram stories, but be more strategic at what you're trying to convey on your timeline here. And also, if you look where it says deannafalchuk.com, Instagram gives us one link. And I want you to remember that if you're working Instagram as a recruiter, that you need to be changing that from time to time. And one piece of advice, since they only give you one link, look at something called, there's an app called Linktree. And there's a few others where you can actually have this link go to another page that has several links. So you could have your Isogenics order form. You could have an event that's coming up that you want people to come to look, like an Isogenics video. So I don't have that with this particular one with Deanna Falchuk right now. But if I'm recruiting people on Instagram and I know that I want them to go to a presentation, I change this. I change my link. And I'll have them go to a page where I have several links. Again, Linktree. There's one, I think it's called Link in Bio. There's actually another page, another website or app called Link in Bio that you can actually have several links on. And I recommend that you do that. And I also recommend that you're conscious of changing it up, because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that when I get into the intentional recruiting. So Snapchat versus Instagram stories. So I told you about live. Like we have Facebook Live that we can either do from a desktop or phone. Most people are doing it from the phone. Instagram Live is part of Instagram Stories. So you go over to the Stories part and there's like a live button. But Snapchat versus Instagram Stories. So it's just a matter of, the look, here's a couple different pictures. But I also, it's been difficult for me because I've always loved Snapchat. But the problem now for me is I want to consolidate where all of my social media is. So I'm actually working more now on Instagram stories, which is similar to Snapchat. So like I said, your Instagram profile should have a more clean look. Should have more of a strategy there. And your Instagram stories can be something that you continually, let's say you're out, you're telling your story. I call it micro vlogging. If anybody knows about blogging or doing videos like on YouTube or anything, which is something that I've done for years, there's definitely room for that. And that's what Snapchat and Instagram stories is now. It's it's micro vlogging. That's all I can say. Not blog, but vlog, video blog. So it's great because none of you need to know how to edit anymore. And everybody's so voyeuristic, they want to know your whole story. So you can take these little 10-second clips of yourself. If I can go back, because I'm not doing this live here with my actual phone, but up at your profile, if you clicked at your profile, or just if you're on Instagram, just swipe it to the right, you're going to get into a screen that's going to allow you to do video and also the Instagram stories. So another thing that a lot of people aren't aware of, one thing I'd like you guys to know about me is that before I joined with Isogenics, I was in the entertainment business for a long time, but I actually have a YouTube video channel called You Parent with my family. And I've had years of experience actually as a YouTube vlogger. I was part of a network called Maker that was bought by Disney. My family, my kids are really into vlogging. My son-in-law just posted a video on Thursday that, it has like on YouTube right now, 217,000 views and about 10 million views in just 4 days on all different platforms. So we have some experience in understanding the video aspect. So I'll tell you, direct upload is not Facebook Live. Facebook Live is when the camera's live, right? A direct upload is you taking a video of yourself and then going to the uploader, to the photo area on Facebook and uploading a video directly, versus the YouTube links. If you put your video on YouTube and put a link, I'm suggesting that if you guys want more leverage and it's your own video, you can put your video on YouTube, but also direct upload it to Facebook. Facebook is about to launch what they call Facebook Watch. And it's going to have all of these channels. This is an example of a direct upload that I did. It was just me doing a video, but they're going to have all of these TV series and, for lack of a better word, TV series. They're going to have these series. They're trying to kind of compete with YouTube. So you're going to get more leverage and you're going to get seen more if you put your video that you've made, let's say you've been more creative and you want to put the video up directly on Facebook as an upload rather than putting your video on to YouTube and then putting it up, because they're going to honor this more because they're in competition with YouTube. That's not to say if you find a video that you really love and you want to put the YouTube link up, that's fine. So again, all of these things, these videos that you are making, learning about Instagram, these are ways to draw attention to you. It's to draw people to you. And again, passive may not be the best word, but they call it attraction marketing as well, to attract people to you. And I think that's great, but I think when you're only doing that, you're not being as intentional as you could in getting people to be, part of your sphere and really having the actual conversation. You're sort of sitting and waiting. It's like you're tap dancing. Another thing regarding passive recruiting is that I want to tell you that's new is if you guys, I don't know, I got rid of television and cable. I have DirecTV. You can have a YouTube channel. You can have a podcast. You can all be influencers and have your own entertainment realm right now. Because we have Alexa, Google Home. I mean, if you speak into your Alexa, you could probably find my podcast. And so I'm suggesting to all of you to do podcasting, do micro podcasting, which I'll tell you about in a second, and have your own video line, because people are going to be able to watch your show that maybe you did with your phone on their television. And also people are listening to things more. Like Facebook is going to launch their own little podcasting platform as well. So these are things to be aware of. Not to overwhelm you. I'm just trying to show you different ways to be creative. I'm not telling you guys you need to do all of this. I'm just kind of opening up the door to different ways that you can draw attention rather than what I call the post and go. It's like we can't just like put a picture up and go, are they going to come? That's what I mean by being passive. It's like you can't just sit and wait. You have to, they call it prospecting for a reason, because you have to go and find the gold, right? So this is just another tip for you guys. There's an app called Anchor. It's micropodcasting. You can just set up a little account and you'll speak into it, and you can talk about network marketing if you want. And then there's also, of course, iTunes. I have a podcast there. So there's ways for you guys to do podcasting. There's a learning curve. You kind of have to learn some of these things. But getting back to what prospecting is, so the passive, or let's say the way that when you're attracting people to you, which again, there's room for everything, is like you throwing out a fishing pole and waiting. Okay, am I going to catch the fish? Is the fish going to come? Am I going to get a bite? Oh my gosh, I got a bite. I got 10 bites. Great, what do? We got 10 bites. We're going to send them the stuff, right? So there's definitely room for that. That's sort of like the basic thing that we do. And I want everybody to make sure that they're doing that they're posting. But the reason they use the word prospecting is that it's like you're taking your pan and you're sticking it in the river or the lake, and then you're looking and you get to choose and find those gold pieces. And that's what I want to talk about now, is being intentional. So we have our prospecting where we're sitting there and we're just fishing and we're waiting for people to come in, and we need to do it. But then there's different things that we can do. We need to go outside of our own little neighborhood. We got to stop just preaching to the choir and go out and see what's out there, right? So the one thing that you can do for intentional recruiting, and this may seem basic, but it's amazing how many people don't know how to do this. Look at your feed daily. Look at what the people that you friended are saying. I say the feeds nourish your business. You read it. I cannot tell you how many times I've literally come across somebody saying, I'm so tired. I have no energy. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so fat. What do I do? Oh my goodness, I need more energy for performance. I mean, if you've been careful enough at making sure that the friends that you have, are not just only your Isogenics friends, and that you can read through your feed, you're going to find something. So this is prospecting. This is looking for gold. And if part of your time on Facebook is not leaving your little neighborhood and going over to your neighbors and going out to another town and going to another group to look for people, then you are not really fully prospecting, and you're definitely not intentionally recruiting people. So check your feeds. That's one thing. 2, I'm going to talk about groups twice. In this particular context, I'm talking about becoming a member of groups and pages. You can, or you can create a group or page of an area of interest. For me, it was adoption. I have friends that are recruiting a lot of people by having a pug page, a dog page, people that are starting the group or the page for their PTA, people that are starting a group or a page for their homeowners association, or people that aren't starting groups at all, but they've joined their church page, they've joined their group for their Sunday school or their Bible study, and they're making sure that they make friends with these people and they're talking to them. Again, they've gone outside of their neighborhood of just posting, and they're going over to these groups. It could be like the Denver Junior Women's League Club or whatever, and you decide you want to become a member, and you're going to be amazed at the people that you meet. Okay, so, and then number 3, of course, one of the things that we do once we go out to these other neighborhoods and when we go to the feeds is we do message people. We message people for connecting, for, of course, like third-party validation, like a 3-way call, or for solidifying interest. So you want to make sure that as you're intentionally recruiting, you're going outside of your neighborhood, like I said, to either your feeds, to other groups, and you could just send them a touch. You could say, oh my goodness, Marianne, I saw that you're on, the gardening club, and I love what you said about gardening, and we're neighbors. We should go out for coffee sometimes. Or, Marianne, I just sent you a friend request because we're on the same group, something like that, so that you can just start a relationship. Or it could be that, they've shown interest, and you're putting Lauren on a 3-way Facebook message together, or, whatever. Use messaging for building relationships and recruiting. So I call it micro recruiting, where you're doing these little micro scripts to people all day. And again, texting is another thing, but we're talking about social media today. So, and then of course, make sure that you do have a group for support. And it says my internet is unstable. I hope you guys can still see me. Okay. And for community. So this is the other aspect of the groups. You want to know where you're going to place them. So you want to make sure that you have a support group of some kind, or even if it's just one page on Facebook or a group on Facebook that shows them what Isagenix is and that you follow up with. The one tip I want to give all of you guys, if you are placing them in a group that's very large and isn't your own, please only do it if you've kind of exhausted your conversations one-on-one. For me personally, I do much better if I just recruit and I kind of have my hands closer on them. Like I've had my coffee with them, I'm still talking to them rather than throwing them in the group and just going. And if we're going to admit it, many people are too afraid to learn more communication skills and so they'll just throw them in the group and say, well, I put them in the group, kind of like you're wanting other people to do the work for you. So groups are great, but don't lean on them too heavily. Okay, so this is one of my favorite ways of intentionally recruiting, especially on Instagram and Facebook. But Instagram, it's more prevalent. And I know that a lot of you don't know what the hashtags really mean or what they are. And so typically I see people that will hashtag things like, oh my goodness, what a beautiful day here in October. They'll hashtag things that nobody has a common interest in. Hashtags are really meant kind of as a searching tool for you. And it is important and fun for you to create your own kooky hashtags. That's fine. But when you see the power of what the hashtags will do, if you combine hashtagging and messaging on Instagram, I'm going to talk about Instagram right now. You can do it on Facebook too, but I want to talk about Instagram. So when you go onto Instagram, there's a little, a little icon that looks like the search field, and you can go to the top and hashtag something. Now, what I'm suggesting is don't do hashtag network marketer, hashtag MLM, hashtag, I don't even like to do weight loss hardly, but, I think of something a little bit, creative. Think of who your girl is, who your guy is. Like Lauren mentioned, to kind of write down who your expectant person is that you want to be in the business. She knows it's moms, and she'll even see the person. After Lauren had me do that, I was going to this Bible study. It was a brand new Bible study. And the first week I went, I didn't see my girl. I was like, I don't think my girl's here. But of course I was going to talk to everybody. The second week she came in and I knew that was her. Like, it was like, this is the girl. She's my girl. You kind of have a resonance and a feel. Of course, anybody could be on my team. I'm happy, but I just kind of knew based on what I had written down. So it's the same on Instagram. So let's just say, look, I put hashtag fashionista. Now look what comes up. All of these different hashtags, right? This is how many people are looking up fashionista. That might be too huge, but I'm using this as an example. So I clicked on fashionista, and there's all these women here, right? Now some could be just for a brand, but let's say this woman in the middle. Let's say I hover over her and I'm like wanting to check out, like, well, who is she? Now, she's at the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Beach. Now over here, I can start commenting, or let's say, like, because I use adoption a lot, great sense of fashion. Of course, this person says hot, but I would just say, oh my goodness, I've been to Laguna Beach. I'm not using this really specifically for myself, but I'm just saying, using this as an example. And you can actually message if you friend her or start following her, or even if you don't, but you just click on her profile up at the top, you're going to see a message area where you can message her directly. Instagram does not cut you off from messaging people unless they request to have it blocked. So that's the beauty of Instagram, is that you can start following people, liking their profiles, getting to know them a little bit, finding out if they're a person that you actually want to work with based on what you see. I put tired mommy into this, and these are some of the posts, and I sort of looked over some of these. And then, for example, one of them, this is her, Irene Sarah. I could click on that top name right there, or I could respond. What I do, guys, is I keep a notebook. And I'm not doing this with everybody. I'm just finding like 5 or 10 people that I want to focus on. And I keep it in a notebook, and I may follow up and build relationships with these people. And then I'll end up, commenting repeatedly, so they end up getting to know kind of who I am. And then I will start messaging them. And I message with intention. I may have had, they may have said something like, I'm really tired, I'm exhausted. And I say that I have intentional conversations so that I can invite and inform them. So what I do is I'll message them, but I will also know that I have some kind of online event or an online link, and it could be in my bio, because in the messaging section on Facebook, on Instagram, you can't just put you can. You could put a link in there in a message, but not in your comments. And I may invite them to, listen, on Wednesday night, we have a regular opportunity meeting and you showed some interest. Why don't you check it out? Or, oh my goodness, you were talking about really looking for a work at home, opportunity. Can we get on the phone? Or if she's like, no, I can't get on the phone right now, and I can't make your event, you might want to say, hey, can you check out this video, or when can we talk? So I have found some key people by intentionally recruiting that way and just sort of reaching out to them, finding people, sifting for gold by going on to, my feed. And so this is kind of a list of how I kind of made a little synopsis of this. You are posting, and when you're posting, it can mean just a basic post, but it can also mean a Facebook Live. It can mean an Instagram Live. It can mean an Instagram story. It can mean Snapchat. There are all different types of ways to throw out the net or throw out your fishing pole to try to catch somebody to respond. But you don't want to just do that. You want to intentionally recruit by looking at your feed, visiting groups, or you can manage a page, messaging people, using hashtags, and inviting them and informing them of what it is that you do. So it's just sort of like, it's like a little shift, I think, in your mind as to how it is you're using the internet, and how it is that you're using social media. Most people and most trainings, to be honest, when we go to a lot of the conferences, it's just the same thing. It's like, let's post, and when you post, make sure it's your lifestyle, like 70% of the time or whatever, and then do your recruitment and your power post, but they're not really teaching you how to really use the platform and the platforms. And by the way, between Facebook, Instagram, right there's billions of people that you can reach. But I'll be honest with you, I know people who are doing great on Pinterest. I was on Amazon the other day talking to somebody. Somebody was reviewing something, and I was like, oh my goodness, I feel the same way. And I started to talk to them. I've commented and met people on Yelp. I mean, there are, obviously there's LinkedIn too, but if you start to think a little bit out of the box and start to think that, oh my gosh, there are people everywhere that I could meet where it's not doing just the same old thing. So I have a little idea for some homework. And then I want, if you guys have any questions, please ask me questions. I haven't looked at the comments yet. But I really want to encourage you guys. One thing regarding just your standard attraction marketing, or what I call passive recruiting, is to definitely join a group of interest on Facebook or a page and start to talk to people there. You don't have to just come out swinging. Definitely don't just come out swinging with your brand. That's not cool. We all know that. And I want you also to look at one type of non-traditional, one thing that you haven't been doing. Like if you haven't been doing Facebook Live, I want you to do a Facebook Live. If you haven't been doing an Instagram Live, do an Instagram Live. Also consider doing a direct upload video. The advantage is you can think out more about what you want your video to be. It might require a little bit of editing, but there are editing apps on the phone as well. So I'd like you to try to do something different on Facebook, and definitely intentionally try to go to a group or something like that. And then I think that that checking out hashtags is going to blow your mind if you have not done that yet. Make a list in a notebook. What I do, I can't show it to you, but let's say this is the notebook. At the top, I'll put hash, and for me, I may do adoption rocks. Don't steal my hashtag. So adoption rocks, because why did I pick that? Because I actually know that that's a common hashtag that people use in adoption. So I may look through the people, and then I may, they're on my list. Okay, this person, I don't follow all of them by hitting follow, but I do go back and intentionally check out their profile. And then what I do is I'll say something like, oh my gosh, my friends and I, have an entire group, and we're really passionate about nutrition for adopted kids. Do you want to check out our presentation tonight? Again, invite and inform. So I have something to send them to. So, I may do that like on a Wednesday or something. I'm like inviting like 15 people. So I want you to find some hashtags to search, and then just keep a list of people that you think might be a prospect for you. Cross them out when it's like, nah, I don't think that's working, but be diligent about following up. And so I think that's it. Does anybody else have any questions for me? I hope I wasn't all out over the place, but I wanted to kind of give you some different, just some different perspective and some potential things that you could do without overwhelming you. I know that it can feel like these days, I call it like, sometimes I say to my friends, I may have even said this to Rachel once, I said, sometimes I feel like a social media hoarder. So you do want to get focused as to what works for you, right? I'm not telling you to do all of these things, but I am telling you that there's more things for you to do than you've done. And find your rhythm, and it's gonna rock. It's gonna be amazing.
Hey, can I just, because I know we've got a little bit of time, can I add this and then talk a little bit about the seasonal catalog and shakes and really how to drive this week? Would that be helpful for you guys?
Yes.
Okay, so Deanna, that's amazing. I know I feel like I've just like buried my head in my phone, but I type all of my notes on my like little notes app in my phone, because then I can like copy and paste into people and text them. And so I just want you guys to know when I'm like this and I'm not talking, I'm like just mad taking notes in my little phone. But that was awesome. And I went to an event the other day with a girl on my team. She partnered with her dermatologist, and a woman that showed up there is like this crazy PR woman. Companies are hiring her to literally get them as seen on, or, on the news or the radio or magazines or whatever. And we started talking about social media. This woman has over 100,000 followers, right? So just to put this into perspective, Eric Coover has like 21,000, right? Emily Vavra had like 10,000. Like I started looking like just to see where this was. Von Miller, who was like the MVP for the Broncos, he had like 3 million. So I'm trying to like, see like, what are people following, how many people, but 100,000. And she was talking about her reach, but she really was just expanding about how much Instagram is the platform right now. And people have really moved away from Facebook because there's so much argumenting on there, and there's all the political stuff and people's drama, and that, everyone's on there kind of selling something, and people kind of knew that they're really turned off by it. And a lot of people have moved away from Facebook. And I know that a lot of us veterans, kind of built our business there, or we're so grateful for those groups where we can coach out of and communicate out of. And by all means, I love Mark Zuckerberg and I love Facebook, and I'm so thankful for it. But if you're someone who's played really comfortable there, I mean, I would encourage you to really start to learn this platform and some of the things that Deanna's talking about. And I definitely was someone that was using the wonky hashtags and have just literally in the last couple weeks been more intentional about that and research when to do them and how to use them effectively. And I have not been enrolling off Facebook, and I've had 6 enrollments in 3 weeks, all of them from Instagram, 0 that I knew. Right. And it's like literally people, just like I did in the beginning with Facebook, that are like, hey, what are you doing? What's this cleanse you post about? Or what was it that you messaged? And for example, if you use gluten-free, right? If someone happens to type in gluten-free, they might find a bread, they might find someone with celiac story, but they might find your recent post about a shake that happens to be gluten-free. And all of a sudden that person's curious about having a nutritional meal on the go that's gluten-free because they just found out they can't have it. And that's kind of what Deanna's saying about using these in a way that the same way as someone Googles gluten-free, what's the first thing that pops up, that you really can use the social media for that. I had no idea about commenting on those threads. That's actually one of the reasons I've moved away from Instagram. I was like, I can't write what I want to write. Like, it annoys me. And I like watching your slides and everything. It was really, really helpful to kind of learn how to do that. So some of the people that are in my old BNI group that do a lot of social media training and branding, the thing I want to leave you guys with is that everything I've ever heard is master 2, maybe 3. We know how timely this can be. Yes. And if you're trying to be an expert at LinkedIn and Pinterest and Snapchat and social media and Facebook and Instagram, like, you're never going to do anything. And really choose your 2. So if you're like, you know what, I'm a Snapchat and Instagram person, awesome. If you're a LinkedIn and Facebook person, awesome. I mean, Erin Hairston is like one of the best at LinkedIn, and I can't even figure out how to log into my own account. Like, that thing scares me. I don't use it. I put that in the corporate America bucket. I don't want to deal with, right? But like figuring out the ones that really, really work for you and how to maximize them. So that was awesome. And you guys, I just wanted to talk to you a teeny bit about the holiday shakes and the holiday products and using the seasonal shakes for your business, because I think a lot of people get really excited and just hope that your customers are going to see a post and they're going to go in and order. And some of you are sitting there going, why is the company having huge rank advancement weeks and my team is maybe staying exactly where it was? And I just want to tell you a few tips and things that we found to be successful, because we usually do use the seasonal shake weeks as a way to blitz the team. And you guys, we all know that what happens on a seasonal shake week is not the authenticity of your overall business, right? So if someone hits 6-star, 7-star, they're not going to be paid as that. We know that there's massive momentum, but it's still good. It builds belief in your team. It builds belief in you. You see what you can do. And we're all about hitting a rank, knowing you're going to slide back down, because then you build again. You know, it's like I hit 2-star and went 1-star. I hit 3-star and went 2. I hit 4, I was 3. You know, like a lot of people that are 8-star, they cycle at the 6 or 7, but they've been there. They know what's possible. And so reach for those goals. And Eric Worre talks about, like, if this is your comfort zone, right? These are your comfort zone goals, and this is your stretch goal, like, go for the stretch goal, because even if you don't hit it, you're still going above the comfort zone, right? So there's a girl right now that was messaging me that she wants to go for the 5-cycle bonus. It's Tuesday and she's already at 3, right? So like immediately another friend that is mentoring her with me is like, we're going for 1-star. And I was like, yes, like such big picture. I'm like, why are we stopping at 5? Like, we could do 5 tonight if we wanted to. Of course we can hit 10, right? And I want you guys to just kind of think about that. So looking at your business, and then who can you bring up? Who can you make successful that inevitably makes you successful? And with being compliant, I want you guys to really be creative with your business too. So let's say that you are someone who might be going for director, right? And you've created 4 or 5 consultants at like over your journey of Isogenics, but you don't have them active at one time, right? And all of a sudden you have some random people that are like, hey, can you order me a thing of pumpkin spice? Or hey, can you order me a thing of chocolate mint? Or hey, I want to try a box of bars. I personally am not going to sign up a new customer with 1 or 2 products, membership and shipping, where they pay $100 for a box of bars and shakes, right? But what I'm doing is in a very organized way, taking orders of bars and orders of shakes. And every time I get 6, which is going to give me the 10% discount, I'm ordering them through somebody else's account, right? So let's say Aaron was someone I had enrolled. He had fallen out of consultant. He had, gotten Jen and he had gotten Laura started. Laura's still at 100 BV, but Jen was at 0, right? I'm messaging Erin saying, hey, I'm so excited. I'm going to help you get back to consultant. Let's talk to Jen. Tell her I'm going to help run an order through her account. It helps you, right? That BV is going in my tree regardless. Like once you order your 100 personal volume every 30 days, there's no additional benefit for you just to continue to order it through your account. There's a lot of benefit and a lot of strategy to go deep into your team. I mean, be obsessed with getting your people paid and comb the tree. So that's one of the first things I'm doing is working with my team, working with my leaders. Who is someone who fell out of consultant that we can get them back to consultant, right? Even without just doing it for them, messaging that person, incentivizing them. Maybe you throw out free shipping to them and say, hey, I'm so excited about our seasonal products. For anyone who goes in by Sunday night and does XYZ, I'm going to personally reimburse your shipping. And once they're in your team, you guys, it's compliant to do specials and promos. It's not for new people. We cannot entice someone to enroll with me and not somebody else. Like we can only use the corporate incentives for new customers. But once they're in your business, that's your business. Get creative, create contests. I have a thread right now with 3 girls that are all going for Crystal Manager. And guess what? The first one that hits it, I'm matching the bonus. They're going to get it from Isogenics and then I'm matching it because I can do that, right? And I want to do that for them. So I want you guys just to really kind of maximize a way that you can reach out to current customers, you can reach out to inactive customers, and you can reach out to new customers. There's a lot of people right now that don't want to do a 30-day. They're going into the holidays. It's just not a good time for them. There's a lot that are. They already know their New Year's Eve dress or they want to feel great for the holidays, right? But for some that are not and are like, nope, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't want to cleanse right now. You can still talk to them about the products we have. I mean, if you have not watched the seasonal live that Trudy did, teach them about these amazing gifts that they can give to other people, how to have an ice of delight before you go to a party that's going to curb your cravings. So when you get there, you're going to have 1 cookie and not 8 cookies. Just be really transparent and teach your team about everything we have. I have like the best pumpkin pie protein shake recipe, I think. I literally have a picture of it and the recipe. And I texted it to 50 people this morning and was like, tell me that you don't want to eat this, for breakfast all morning long. And I was like, all you need is 2 containers of shakes and you've got 30 meals for you and your family. Message me back if you want to order some. People are writing me back like this with their credit card. Yes, I want to. Yes, I want to. Yes, I want to. And all I'm doing is selling a protein pancake recipe, right? We're not promising them weight loss. It's just a healthy alternative. I've seen people do this with, hot chocolate recipes, the coffee recipes. And if you are enrolling right now and you're trying to create consultants, right? The reason I'm doing this, and Deanna, your training is amazing, but I just get fired up with the seasonal weeks or shake weeks or rank advancement weeks. When the whole purpose of this training was to go executive. So what's on all of our minds is how do you create consultants? So guess what? When we're enrolling someone, I immediately start asking them of who's going to get healthy with them, who do they normally go to the movies with, who do they go out to eat with, who would be on this journey with them. But you also kind of have to be creative and put things in their head that they may not have thought about, right? So for example, right now, this was a very realistic conversation, a girl that I'm helping hit Crystal Manager. The girl has enrolled her husband, right? They're 1 away and they're kind of going, well, we just want to try it before we really talk about it, which is fine. That's great, right? But I'm obsessed with getting this girl to consultant because I want to double her PIBs. I want the other girl to hit Crystal Manager. And I said, okay, but just for a second, humor me. I said, do you know anybody in your life right now that takes vitamins, eats protein bars, makes protein shakes or uses skincare? And of course I say yes. And I'm like, we have over 60 products, I said, would your mom even just want our healthy aging vitamins? We literally could get her some youth serum and vitamins. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that, right? People don't have to just buy a 30-day. Of course I love our starter packs and we built our businesses on duplication and the president's packs and everything. But at the same point, when you're going director and you're going executive, you need 10 people that are active with 100 BV that have all referred 2 people active with 100 BV. Get to 100 BV. Do what you have to do to figure it out, but just have conversations with people and remind them of if they buy 6 of something that they get 10% off, right? Just tell people that. If you're going to buy 3 boxes of s'mores bars, buy 3 more. If you don't like the other flavors, send them back, right? But tell them the math. I'm like, if you just buy here, whatever it is, here's the cost. If you do 2 more and get 10% off, this is now what you're getting. Each product went down XYZ, break it down for people. But I was messaging my team last night. Some of them are on here. This is a week you don't sleep. If you're looking at people like Emily Vavra, Hayden Vavra, Laura Stevens, Tanya Patrick, Trudy Maples, and saying, I want that life, or I want to do this, this is when you roll up your sleeves, you take 6 e-shots a day, drink the coffee in the process, whatever you have to do, but you don't sleep. Like, I literally was up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Last night, I was up at 4:30 to go to the gym, and all day long. I put in 2 enrollments this afternoon when I finally got in the computer, and I've been like all day long just trying to get people's logins and passwords, because as I'm getting the product orders, I want to run them through the team. So you guys know, as an associate, you bank volume. If you have someone who's ordered their 100 BV and they're banking volume, and they have fallen out of consultant, and you can get them back to consultant and they go through that volume. We've seen people cycle 60 times, 80 times, 100 times. But imagine if they only cycle 3, they cycle 5. If all of a sudden they've been active for a whole year and 9 months, and all of a sudden they make $200 this week or $300, guess who's not leaving your business for another 3 to 4 months? You know, so it's worth combing your tree. And if you guys want help with this, ask Deanna, ask Rachel, ask Erin, ask me, ask Renee. I mean, we are so excited about this and we can help you do it. But I will tell you, I literally go bottom left and I just start clicking, and I'm literally clicking, and I'm like on the person enrolled details, opening up the box, seeing who's active, messaging them. And I don't care if I enrolled them. I don't care if they're 5, 10, 15 levels down in my business. I want to get people paid. I want to get people healthy. I want them to put this nutrition in their body. So, you know, take some of the stuff that Deanna just took you, like grab some of the products or the slides of the slideshow from the Isogenics Live and make some Insta stories with it. Put it out there. Or as soon as you get your guys' product, I've literally ordered one of everything because I want to do my own Facebook Lives and show that sample cup stocking and the e-shot, you know, holder, and what cute little bags that can be for teachers. And think about all of you moms out there, and you're going to take your kids to get their teeth cleaned, or you're going to, you know, whatever stuff moms do with kids. Imagine if everywhere you went, you gave one of those e-shot things. I mean, instead of giving boxes of cookies, you were able to give that little whatever, Ice of Delight baggie or something, where someone's not only getting healthier, but they fall in love with something that's supporting their health. I mean, who are they going to think back? You're going to give the gifts anyways. You know, like I think Untrudy says, make a list of everyone you give gifts to. What do you normally give them and how much are you spending? So my go-to is wine. $10 bottles of wine. I usually buy like 100, put a card on it, right? And everywhere I go, every party I go to, here's a bottle of wine, right? It's just easy. That's my go-to. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm totally doing that stocking shaker cup. It's the same price. Yes. It's something I'm passionate about, right? Like, so I just want you guys to be really, really intentional. And Deanna or Rach or Renee, I know you've all have rank advanced on seasonal shake weeks. If you guys have things to add, like you guys should all be popping consultants this week. You all should be enrolling like crazy this week.
Go back to people who have either been terminated or inactive on your list. You will be amazed at how many people will be like, you know what, I've been thinking about this. Or, you know, so go back to your list and call them, email them, message them. And just like you said, I mean, Lauren, definitely go to the people who are kind of on the fence with, you know, they're almost a consultant. They've been wanting to go manager. They can't, I mean, this is the time to do it. And yeah, and buy your gifts here. It's going to help everybody and it promotes your business and it's just a great time to do it. So, but my thing that I just wanted to add, because you've mentioned this, is just to really go back to your list of people who have gone inactive or whatever. And the other thing that I will say regarding this is that you can go on Instagram or for some of those people and send a really quick, you know, like video. Say, hey, you know, I saw that you love cookies and cream, or, you know, or chocolate mint. I have this amazing chocolate mint, you know, just, you know, tell them, not cookies and cream. But
yeah, I'll pipe up real quick. I look like a hot mess, y'all, because I'm doing exactly what you guys are talking about. So I'm like, come on, we got to wrap this up because I have like a list of people that I need to follow up with. And my cycles have gone up 12 since this call started an hour ago. So if that doesn't say anything about the power of seasonal products, I don't know what else is. But really what I want you guys to know is I do exactly what y'all are talking about. Seasonal shakes have always been huge in my business center, and it's because I have a lot of product users in my business center. You know, I have 15,000 people in my downline. And whether I personally introduce them to Isogenics or not, if they're under somebody that's no longer sharing Isogenics or no longer building this business, I still reach out to them, because that could be the difference of whether or not you get your 5-cycle bonus this week, or whether or not you are able to help that person get back to consultant. You never know how this is going to positively impact your business, or maybe you end up reaching out to someone who could become your next biggest business builder and you didn't know. This is an opportunity to connect with people. You are going to be exhausted. I'm freaking tired as crap. I have horrible circle in my eyes because I've been up every night until 1 o'clock prepping for today, knowing what's about to go down. So like, dig in, just dig, bring people out, text, don't just get stuck on Facebook, find other ways to reach out to people, make it personal, but keep it templated. So use the same message over and over again. Use that www.isagenicseasonalcatalog.com. Don't sit there and try to explain to them what every product is. The only thing I will tell you to make sure you tell people is that if they order 6 or more, they're going to get 10% off. Because 1, it's going to increase your order cart. 2, it's going to help them save. So it's a win-win for everybody. And a lot of people don't know that. So just be that messenger for them. So anyway, that's all I got. Love y'all. Sorry. My kid pooped in the tub, which is why I was late to the call.
And I just wanted to add one thing because, you absolutely crushed it with the social media. And I think a lot of times people get caught up with the comparison of whether or not they can do it and really what they represent on social media. And what I can say to that is that find your brand. Right? We talk about the you economy, right? You have your own economy. And with Isogenics, you can basically make it what you want. And social media has now been even more acceptable to just being raw and real. And so you don't have to act or portray this different image. Just be yourself and just be out there, allowing people permission to be out there. We have something very special. And so when you're posting on Facebook, when you're, doing your Insta stories and you're doing your lives and, just be raw, just be who you are. We're going to attract those individuals that just we are relatable to. And so be relatable, be a genuine person, and it's just going to click. But you got to be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing about social media. No matter what you do, what platform you use, just pick one and just be consistent with it in everything that you do and intentionally. So letting people know, say, hey, listen, I'm putting my life out there because I know that my experiences may be just what someone needs to know that it's possible or just have more belief in themselves. And so it may not be about Isogenics all the time, but you are creating an economy by just allowing people to build their own brand, to build what they're contributing and who they are so that others can go out there and say, you know what, if she did it, I can do it too. Right? And so we always want people just to grow and using the platform and social media, just not for complaining and not just for, just scrolling through pages, but actually contributing and being of value on there so that people can go through their lunch break or wherever they are in their life and they can tune into you because they know that, it may be whatever you're doing at that afternoon at that time, it's something that's funny or it's something that's, going to allow them to escape for a minute. And so just be you, create your economy, create your environment, and social media is beautiful because there's really no rules, right? There's no rules, so you just be the most valuable person on there in your eyes and who you are and, find that path of purpose. I think that's the most important thing.
All right, you guys gonna crush it?
Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Deanna. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys. Awesome. I'm going out to place my order.
Let's go get it.